classroom clock ticked unnervingly, each second a hammer blow in the suffocating silence of the deserted school. It was well past midnight, and the harsh fluorescent lights cast long, distorted shadows, making the room feel menacing, like a stage set for a nightmare. I was the last soul in Northwood High, buried under textbooks, cramming for my AP history exam. A cold dread, deeper than exam anxiety, crept in. The building itself seemed to watch me, its empty hallways holding their breath, a silent predator. My name is Alex, a perfectionist driven to excel. The AP history exam was my final hurdle, crucial for my future. I'd convinced Mr. Harrison, the night janitor, to let me stay. "Just lock up," he'd said, "and don't let the ghosts get ya." He chuckled, a dry, wheezing sound, but the words lingered, a faint chill that settled on my skin, a premonition I couldn't shake. Now, hours later, that chuckle felt less like a joke and more like a dire warning. The school, usually vibrant with student life, felt like a mausoleum, a tomb for forgotten memories. Every creak of the old building, every distant hum of the ventilation system, was amplified, twisted into something sinister, something that sounded like a sigh or a moan. I swore I heard faint, indistinct whispers from the darkened hallway, just beyond the classroom door, barely audible, yet undeniably there. I dismissed it as exhaustion, my mind playing tricks in the lonely, late hours, clinging to logic. I rubbed my tired eyes, trying to force my focus back onto the dense text. A sudden sharp rap echoed from the window directly behind me, a distinct, deliberate sound that cut through the silence. My heart leaped into my throat. I spun. The window was dark, reflecting only my startled, pale face. No branches, no cars, nothing. Just the wind, I muttered, though not a single breeze stirred outside, the night utterly still. My concentration shattered. The whispers grew louder, coalescing into a low, mournful hum. It sounded like a choir of forgotten voices. Just beyond the threshold of hearing, a chorus of sorrow. Lights flickered violently, plunging the room into absolute darkness before sputtering back, leaving my eyes aching from the sudden contrast, leaving me disoriented and vulnerable. "Okay, Alex, you're just tired," I told myself, voice trembling. "Go get some coffee from the staff room. A little caffeine will clear your head." I stood, stretching my stiff limbs. As I turned to leave, I noticed something new on my desk, a single tarnished brass bell, ancient and grimy. Its clapper was missing, yet it seemed to hum with a faint, unseen energy, radiating a cold aura. I'd never seen it before, and its sudden, inexplicable appearance sent a fresh wave of dread through me. My blood ran cold. This was no ordinary object. It felt like a summons. I backed away slowly, eyes fixed on the bell, a malevolent artifact. It wasn't a prank. No one else was here. The thought was absurd, defying all logic, yet the evidence was undeniable. A sudden, piercing chill enveloped me, as if the temperature in the room had dropped 20 degrees. The whispers intensified, morphing into a cacophony of overlapping voices, pleading, angry, sorrowful, swirling around me, suffocating, pressing in from all sides. The air grew thick with an unseen presence. I stumbled out, heart pounding. The hallway was oppressive darkness. Only green emergency exit signs glowed, like distant, mocking eyes. "Mr. Harrison," I called, voice thin, swallowed by emptiness. No answer, only the echoes of my own fear. I fumbled for my phone. I needed out. I started running down the silent corridor, footsteps echoing ominously, each one a testament to my growing panic. As I passed the trophy case, a deafening crash. The glass shattered, an old football trophy lay broken, its golden figure twisted. "This isn't real," I whispered, tears pricking my eyes, blurring my vision. "This isn't happening. I'm dreaming." I kept running, screaming for the exit. I reached the main staircase. As I descended, a chilling lullaby began, faint then louder, from the old music room. I knew Northwood High was built on an orphanage site that burned down decades ago, claiming children's lives. Legend said their spirits roamed. I dismissed it as folklore, driven by morbid curiosity, or perhaps a desperate need to understand. I found myself drawn to the music room. The lullaby grew louder, its sweetness curdled by an underlying malevolence. The door was ajar, a sliver of darkness beckoning me in. I pushed it open. The room was bathed in eerie green. The grand piano stood silent, keys untouched, yet the lullaby played, seemingly from the walls, from the very air itself. On the chalkboard, in faded chalk, were dozens of student names, names of the lost. Beneath them, "Never leave." A cold, spectral hand brushed my cheek, its touch like ice. I gasped, stumbling back. The lullaby swelled, becoming a discordant shriek that tore at my ears. Piano keys slammed down, one after another, creating a horrifying cacophony, as if an invisible entity was pounding them. I turned to flee, but the door slammed shut with a deafening bang. Locked, panic seized me. I hammered on the door, screaming, but my cries were swallowed. The room grew colder, thick with dust, decay, and something sickly sweet. Shadows writhed, twisting into grotesque shapes. The children from the orphanage. They were not alone. A tall, gaunt figure materialized, shimmering. A woman in an old teacher's uniform, her face a mask of sorrow and fury. Her eyes burned with cold, calculating malice, twin points of malevolent light. "You're not leaving," she hissed, her voice a dry whisper from everywhere. "No one ever leaves. You're ours now, part of our eternal class." This wasn't just children's spirits. This was something older, insidious, feeding on despair, growing stronger with each passing year, each student's fear. This was the spirit of the school itself, a malevolent entity, thriving on ambition and fear. I realized the terrifying truth. The school didn't just house ghosts. It was the ghost. It was a trap, a living prison for those who sought knowledge, consuming their souls. The bell, the whispers, the broken trophy, all manifestations of its insidious power to bind victims to its cursed legacy. With adrenaline, I lunged for the window, smashing glass with my elbow. Shards bit my skin, but I barely felt it. A cold, spectral hand grabbed my ankle, pulling me back. I screamed, kicking wildly. The woman's face twisted into a snarl, eyes glowing with an unholy light. "You belong to us now," she shrieked, echoing with tormented children. I pulled, twisted, and my leg came free. I scrambled through the broken window, falling onto the dewy grass. I didn't stop to look back. I ran, blindly, until my lungs burned and legs ached. I ran until I saw the first hint of dawn, a glorious, life-affirming light. I never returned to Northwood High. I transferred schools, my academic ambitions replaced by profound terror. The midnight bell, whispers, and malevolent school spirit still haunt my dreams, replaying the terror in vivid detail. Sometimes, when silence stretches, I hear that chilling lullaby, a haunting reminder that some schools don't just teach lessons, they consume souls.